Through this, we know immortality. We who are, as a people, more concerned with the city of heaven that we build in this life rather than the city of heaven we might build in another, still need to take the time to mark our connection with our beloved dead. Those who took part in our procession of candles, those who did not but who are recently still in the grips of loss, do not need to be reminded that at times the veil between the living and the dead is thin. The Celtic pagans' observance of Samhain is thought to have been the motivation for the Catholic celebration of All Saints, and it's one of the holidays that was taken in as that new and zealous religion spread. But what it took in is something that is universal across many traditions around the world: the need to recognize our continued relationship with those whom we have lost to death. This observance in many cultures is marked by the observance of graves and cleaning, the celebration of the dead by preparing their favorite foods or indulging in their favorite beverages. There is, in many traditions, the wisdom that we must, in our daily and busy lives, create those small, important spaces of memory to think about our relationships with those who have now gone from this life, but who are always and will ever be part of our intention and import. In the African American traditions, in the indigenous traditions, in the Latinx traditions, and in many of the Asian religious traditions, engagement with the ancestors is essential. And I appreciate Chester McCall bringing to us the pouring of the libations, which is found in many religions of the African origin. That is a practice that I remember from our days of creating church together, and it's one that has stuck with me since then. But in all the traditions, what is so important is that we take that time and space to remember that those still must reconcile with in some way are still around in our spirit for us to have those conversations that will make us whole ourselves. It is so important for us to have these connections with some sense of history that tells us that we are connected to those who have gone before us, and we will remain connected to those who come after us. This weekend, as we gathered, so many among us were grieving for our world and for the indigenous peoples of this nation who have known those connections long and who are right now experiencing an unprecedented anguish over the events at Standing Rock in North Dakota, where the peaceful protests of indigenous people was met with violence this past week. These are people who hold not only their relationship with the dead sacred, but they develop their sense of duty and commitment from their relationships with those who they call their ancestors, those who have gone before. For all of us in this world, troubled and complicated, joyous and beautiful, there are times when we wish to honor that connection. Sometimes it is when the world feels as if it isn't offering us all of its knowledge and we need a greater knowledge. Sometimes it's just in those small moments where there's a private joke we wish we could share, where there's some off-color remark that we couldn't make to anyone else but that person who is no longer on this earth, so we have to make it in our head. Sometimes it's just when we need some special love in our life to recognize and witness an achievement from our life. We know those times, and we hold them dear. This beautiful kimono that I'm wearing was given to me this week by Beth Snordham, our own Beth Snordham. It's a very special, special gift because it is the kimono that her husband, Neil, one of her beloved dead, brought back from his time in Japan, and it has been in their home ever since. She gifted me with it this week, and I wear it today, as I will now, on All Souls Days, as a symbol of our living, continued relationship with those who go before us. I am grateful for the gifts, as we are all grateful for the many gifts we have among us from people we have never even met, because they live on in our community as well. So let us honor our beloved dead this day. Let us allow and invite them to dance with us. Let us know that they are woven into our sense of who we are, that they call us to our best selves, either because of their example or because we understand that we must do what they could not. We can, in fact, live in that city of heaven, for each one of us is valued and precious and known. And we can live on with those who knew this before we were here, so that we may pass it to those who come after us. May we be the ones to make it so.